to Chad Strand's real estate website. If you're buying or selling, he can help. His website is designed to guide you through the process. Call Chad today for a free no-obligation appointment. 612-849-4600.
Animated movies are a rite of passage for most children, and nobody does them better than Disney. Every child remembers watching Snow White and The Little Mermaid for the first time, and most of us are still heading to theaters whenever a new Pixar film comes out. But we don't always catch the Easter eggs left there by mischievous animators, or the cameos that some Disney characters make in movies that aren't their own. Here are 10 Disney crossover Easter eggs you've never seen before. Rapunzel's cameo in Frozen. In an early scene from Frozen, Anna enters the palace to celebrate Elsa's coronation as the queen, right after singing for the first time in forever and prancing around in front of the gates. But just take a close look at who she crosses paths with once she gets inside. Yep, that's a short-haired Rapunzel and Flynn from Tangled, the fractured Disney fairy tale movie from 2010. Apparently, Elsa invited guests from all over for her coronation, even other movies.
Work. Ow! Stop it, Sven. Try and focus here. Yeah, why?
I guess Rapunzel and Flynn really do live forever after, or at least they're keeping up their social appearances.
How would you like a nice spot of tea, sir?
Mrs. Potts, Chip, and the Teacuts cameo in Tarzan. The 90s were called a renaissance for Disney, as the formula they perfected with The Little Mermaid kept them going with classics like Aladdin, The Lion King, and Mulan. Animators at the Mouse House decided to play homage to their Best Picture-nominated classic, Beauty and the Beast, in 1997's Tarzan. You may notice that Jane uses a pretty familiar tea set in the film. Well, that's because it's Mrs. Potts and the rest of the Beast's anthropomorphic chinaware. Some fans have suggested that Jane is actually a descendant of Belle and the Prince, but we're just happy to see these characters again. Lady and the Tramp's cameo in 101 Dalmatians. When the Dalmatian puppies are stolen at the beginning of this 1961 Disney doggy classic, Dalmatian parents Pongo and Perdita get the news out to the dog world through the Twilight Bark, a canine gossip line that crosses town with the bad news. Yeah, in the world of 101 Dalmatians, whenever you hear dogs barking at twilight, they're actually just getting in touch with each other. Apparently Pongo and Perdita live in the same town as Lady and Jock, as several characters from Lady and the Tramp make cameos in the film, warning their canine friends about the puppy snatchers. Doug the dog in Ratatouille. But the Lady and the Tramp aren't the only Disney dogs to cameo in a film that isn't their own. In Pixar's 2006 smash Ratatouille, Remy is being chased through the restaurant by Gusteau when he runs into a pooch. We only see the dog's shadow, but it does look awfully familiar. That's because it's the same design as Doug, the talking dog from Pixar's Up. Incredibly, Ratatouille came to theaters 3 years before Doug starred in Up, which shows you how long these movies take to make.
My master made me this collar. He is a good and smart master, and he made me this collar so that I may talk. Squirrel!
Whether or not the dog from Ratatouille is the same character as the dog from Up, however, is not known. Lots-O-Huggin Bear in Up. Doug isn't the only Pixar character to make an appearance ahead of his time. Take Lots-O-Huggin Bear, for example, who made his big screen debut in Up, which came out a year before Lots-O-Huggin's starring role as the villain in Toy Story 3. You can see the bear resting against the bed in a little girl's room as the balloons that carry Carl Fredricksen's house pass by her window. Is it the same Lots-O-Huggins bear that rules over the daycare in Toy Story 3? Probably not, but perhaps he came from the same aisle of the toy store? We'll never know for sure. The Good Dinosaur in Inside Out. Forward-looking cameos must be all the rage in the Pixar offices. When the emotions of Inside Out look at a memory of Riley's family vacation to a dinosaur attraction, the exhibits might look a little familiar. That's because they're the characters in The Good Dinosaur, which came out later in the same year. At one point, the family car rolls back into a dino that looks an awful lot like Arlo, the film's young Apatosaurus star. We would suggest that maybe The Good Dinosaur is really a prequel to Inside Out, but it takes place in an alternate universe. Pizza Planet truck in everything. But the most common Pixar cameo is the Pizza Planet truck, which made its first appearance in Toy Story. The studio has found a way for it to appear in almost every Pixar film since, which means that it's become awfully international. In Finding Nemo, the truck can be seen on the streets of Sydney, Australia, as Gil details his escape plan. If you look closely in Ratatouille, you can see the truck crossing the River Seine in Paris. An anthropomorphic Pizza Planet truck even shows up at the Piston Cup in Cars. And the witch in Brave, who is apparently a wood carving hobbyist, has carved out a miniature Pizza Planet truck in her hole in the forest.
Ooh. Kitty.
Sully in Brave. But that's not the only thing this witch has carved. She's also carved out a wood print of Sully, the hair spookster from Monsters Inc. and Monsters University. One widely shared fan theory claims that the witch is actually Boo from Monsters Inc. The theory holds that Boo traveled back in time through the doors of the Monsters universe. It's probably not the most sound theory. Why would Boo want to go back in time? But it's a fun way to think about the Pixar universe, which has so many connections that you never know how clever its animators are being. Bootleg Disney DVDs in Zootopia. But let's get out of the Pixar world for a moment. Zootopia was deemed a classic by children and parents alike, almost as soon as it came out. It takes place in a world that looks a lot like our own, with skyscrapers and city streets and police force, but with one key difference: it's populated by animals. But when Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde run into Duke Weaselton's bootleg DVD table on the street, you can see that several Disney movies also exist in the animal world. There's Pig Hero 6, Wreck-It Rhino, and Wrangled, but also spoofs of upcoming movies like Meowana, Giraffic, and Floatsin' 2. But we saved the best Disney cameo for last. In all of these entries, we may have forgotten about the most classic Disney characters from the studio's golden age, but don't worry, you can find them popping up in unexpected places too. If you pause your Blu-ray of The Little Mermaid, we know you own one, at just the right moment, you can see Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy in attendance when King Triton makes his introduction at the beginning of the film. If you look closely, you can also catch a glimpse of Kermit the Frog, even though he's not usually an animated character. So what did you think of our list? Are there any other Disney cameos and Easter eggs that fans should know about? Join the discussion in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this one.